African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of April 22, 2026. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. The North Group of Forces improved the tactical situation. The group's units inflicted losses on the formations of 1 assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 6 territorial defense brigade near Malaya Slobodka, Novodmitrovka, Novia Virki, Pisarevka, and Stetskovka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv region, strikes were delivered at manpower and hardware of 3 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 1 National Guard brigade, and 3 border detachments of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine near Veliki Burluk, Veseloye, Izbitskoye, Malaya Volchia, Rubezhnoye, and Skoriki in the Kharkov region. The enemy lost more than 200 troops, 1 armored personnel carrier, 16 motor vehicles, 1 field artillery gun, 3 US-made and TPQ-37 counterfire radars, and 1 Israeli-made RADA radar station, 1 electronic warfare station, 1 ammunition depot, and 7 materiel depots. The West Group of Forces improved the situation along the front line. Units of 2 mechanized and assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine have been hit close to Borovaya, Petrovka in the Kharkov region, Krasny Liman, Prishib, and Tatyanovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Armed Forces of Ukraine losses amounted to up to 200 troops, 2 US-made M113 armored personnel carriers, 1 Kazak armored fighting vehicle, 16 motor vehicles, and 3 artillery guns. 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. The South Group of Forces took more advantageous lines and positions. Losses were inflicted on the manpower and hardware of 5 mechanized brigades, 1 mountain assault brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and 1 territorial defense brigade near Konstantinovka, Nikanorovka, Alexandrovka, Stenki, and Tikhonovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 135 troops, 1 infantry fighting vehicle, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 14 motor vehicles, 3 field artillery guns, and 1 electronic warfare station. 2 ammunition depots and 4 materiel depots were neutralized. The Center Group of Forces improved the tactical situation. Russian units engaged formations of 4 mechanized brigades, 1 air assault brigade, 1 airmobile brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, the Azov Special Operations Brigade, and 4 National Guard brigades near Kucherov Yar, Novonikolaevka, Lenina, Svetloye, Sergeyevka, Belitskoye, Shilovka, Toretskoye, Kalinino, Dobropolye in the Donetsk People's Republic, Grigorovka, and Novopavlovka in the Dnepropetrovsk region. The armed forces of Ukraine losses amounted to more than 325 troops, 4 armored fighting vehicles, 9 motor vehicles, and 2 field artillery guns. The East Group of Forces continued advancing into the depth of enemy defense. Russian elements delivered damage to formations of 3 mechanized brigades, 1 air assault brigade, 2 assault brigades, and 5 assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine close to Alexandrovka, Gavrilovka, Lesnoye, Malomikhailovka in the Dnepropetrovsk region, Barvinovka, Vozdvizhevka, Charivnoye, and Lubitskoye in the Zaporozhye region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost more than 230 troops, 1 armored fighting vehicle, and 6 motor vehicles. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted losses on the manpower and hardware of 2 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine near Orakov, Yurkovka in the Zaporozhye region, and Zmyevka in the Kherson region. Up to 30 troops, 3 pickup trucks, 1 Grad MLRS combat vehicle, and 1 electronic warfare station were neutralized. Operational tactical aviation, attack drones, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian groups of forces inflicted damage on the Ukrainian power, transport, and port infrastructure used in the interests of Ukraine, storage and launch preparation sites for long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as temporary deployment areas of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 131 areas. Air defense systems shot down 1 guided bomb, 3 U.S.-made HIMARS MLRS projectiles, and 368 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. The Black Sea Fleet destroyed 1 uncrewed surface vehicle in the northwestern part of the Black Sea.
In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy has lost 671 aircraft, 284 helicopters, 136,720 unmanned aerial vehicles, 656 anti-aircraft missile systems, 29,006 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,705 MLRS combat vehicles, 34,569 field artillery guns and mortars, 59,940 units of support military vehicles.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.